Imagine a country so rich in oil that every citizen should be living like a millionaire. Now imagine that same country where 75% of the people live below the poverty line. No clean water, no good hospitals, children die from diseases that were cured decades ago. Now imagine that's why all this is happening. The president's son is in Paris buying a mansion worth 25 million euros. He is in California buying a property worth $35 million. He is in Switzerland keeping yachts worth $250 million. 2 years that together cost more than his entire country spent on health and education combined. This is not fiction. This is Equatorial Guinea, and this is the story of how one family sold an entire country and called it government. Most people have never heard of Equatorial Guinea. That is exactly how the people who run it want it. It is a tiny country on the west coast of Central Africa, so small that its entire population is less than 1.5 million people, smaller than the city of Port Harcourt. It is split into two, a mainland region called Rio Muni, which borders Cameroon and Gabon, and an island called Bioko, where the capital Malabo sits. For most of its history, it was one of the poorest and most invisible countries on African continent. It gained independence from Spain in 1968, and from that first day of independence, it has never known a single day of true democracy. The first president after independence was a man called Francisco Macias Nguema. He was so brutal that Human Rights Watch later called his rule one of the worst cases of human rights abuses in Africa. He killed or exiled a third of the entire population. He banned the word intellectual. He destroyed schools. He executed priests. He called himself the unique miracle. By the time his rule ended, Equatorial Guinea was the poorest country in Central Africa. Then, on the 3rd of August 1979, something happened that Equatorial Guinea thought might change everything. A military coup. The man who led it was Marshall's own nephew, Teodoro Obiang Basogo. He arrested his uncle, put him on trial, and had him executed by firing squad. Equatorial Guinea celebrated. Surely things would get better now. They had no idea what was coming. Teodoro Obiang has been the president of Equatorial Guinea since that day in 1979. That is over 45 years. He is the longest serving president in the world today. In 2003, the state radio of Equatorial Guinea made an announcement that showed even his supporters. They declared that President Obiang was in permanent contact with the Almighty and that he could decide to kill without going to hell. He did not correct them. But in 2022, his party announced that he had won the presidential election with 95 to 97% of the votes, securing every single seat in parliament. The United States government and international observers called the result a sham. Anyone who dares to speak against him ends up in a place called Black Beach Prison, one of the most feared detention centers in the world, known for torture, starvation, and prisoners simply disappearing. In 2010, opposition members who were living in Benin were abducted by Equatorial Guinea agents, flown back to Malabo, and executed the same day after being tortured. Even in exile, you are not safe. Foreign diplomats joke privately that Equatorial Guinea is not really a country. It is a family-run business that happens to hold a seat at the United Nations. Then came 1995 and everything changed. Massive oil reserves were discovered off the coast of Equatorial Guinea. Almost overnight, the country's GDP increased by more than 5,000%, and Equatorial Guinea became the fourth largest oil producer in sub-Saharan Africa. American oils rushed in. ExxonMobil, Marathon Oil, Hess Corporation, the money started flowing in billions. Here is a country, as Human Rights Watch described it, where people should have the per capita wealth of Spain or Italy, but instead they live in conditions comparable to Chad or the Democratic Republic of Congo. How is that possible? Because the oil money never reached the people. In 2003, Obiang told his citizens that he felt compelled to take full control of the national treasury to prevent civil servants from being tempted to engage in corrupt practices. That is what he said publicly. What he actually did was deposit more than $500 million into over 60 banks' accounts and controlled by himself and his family at a bank called Rings Bank in Washington, D.C. A U.S. federal court later fined Rings Bank $16 million for allowing him to do it. Rings Bank had opened accounts for Equatorial Guinea to receive revenues from all companies and permitted the president and his inner circle to dip into these funds at will. Withdrawal merely required the signature of the president. The whole country oil money available to one man with his signature alone. But if Obiang Sr. shocked the world, his son Theodore made the world jaw drop completely. Theodore full name Theodore Kwema Obiang Mangwe. It's the president's eldest son and heir apparent. His official salary as government minister was just $4,000 a month. Yet between 2004 and 2006 alone, $45 million on mansions and luxury cars in South Africa and California. That amount was more than the entire government spent on education in Equatorial Guinea in 2005. Let that sink in. One man's shopping bill for 2 years was bigger than any education budget. That was the beginning. American authorities investigated his U.S. assets, laying claim to a Malibu mansion worth $30 million, along with luxury cars and 6 life-size statues of Michael Jackson. In France, authorities seized the mansion on Avenue Fosse in Paris, just a few hundred meters from the Arc Trophy, worth €25 million. In 2017, a French court convicted him in absentia of stealing more than €100 million from the public treasury. In Switzerland, authorities seized 11 luxury cars. 2 yachts worth a combined $250 million were also seized. Officials' U.S. court data shows that children amassed more than $200 million in assets, while officially earning less than $100 million per year. His father's response to all of this, he promoted Theodore to first vice president of Equatorial Guinea and put him in charge of the country anti-corruption commission. The man convicted of stealing from the country was made the head of anti-corruption. While all of this was happening, while the marshals were being bought and the yachts were being seized and the Swiss cars were filling warehouses, what did the people of Equatorial Guinea have? The government aims oil revenue in the billions every year, but the population live on less than $1 a day. The country has one of the highest child mortality rates in Africa. A functioning hospital is a luxury most cities will never access. The schools that marshals the show were never properly rebuilt. The infrastructure was promised when oil was discovered. Roads, water, electricity exist in closing government poachers and almost nowhere else. The political elites live comfortable on Blue Coat Island, while the population they rule remains isolated on the mainland. Keeping the two apart make rebellion harder and maintains the regime control. And to make sure nobody complains too loudly, authorities arrest an artist for nearly 6 months simply throwing cartoons that made fun of the president. A teacher sat in prison for 7 months without charge after a voice mail he sent to a friend criticizing government corruption was posted online. This is the country Obiang built, not for his people, for himself. Today, Theodore Obiang is in his 80s and still president. Theodore is still vice president. Another son, Gabriel, controls the Ministry of Mines and Energy, maintaining he controls who gets oil contracts. China has stepped in to prop up the regime. Since 2006, China has provided over $3 million in loan up to title oil guarantees. By 2022, half of Equatorial Guinea GPT was owned to China. The oil is running out. The money that was supposed to build a future was stolen, and the people are left with nothing but the memory of what could have happened. Equatorial Guinea is not just a country about one corrupt family. It is a warning. It is what happens when a country's resources are treated as personal inheritance by the people in power. It is what happens when the world looks away because oil companies are making money. And here is the hardest truth of all Equatorial Guinea. It is not unique. Across Africa, the same story is playing out in different languages with different names and different faces. The name changed, the sling does not. Understanding what happened in Equatorial Guinea is not just about one small country. It is about all of us. It is about what Africa could be if the people who were given the responsibility of leadership actually served the people who trusted them. The oil was always there, people were always there. What was missing was a government that belonged to the nation, not one family. Thanks for watching until the end. If this video made you think, please share it. This is exactly the kind of conversation Africa needs to be having. Like, subscribe to Vito TV, and God